Hey everybody, this is the Produce Reporter Week in Review. I'm Pamela Schneider, Retail Editor for Blue Book Services, and I'm not in my office again. I am in Tampa, Florida, where we are kicking off the Southeast Produce Council's Southern Exposure this morning. They had Topgolf event yesterday, and then today we have the educational sessions where we're going to hear from Anne-Marie Roenrich for 210 Analytics with this year's Power of Produce. That's what I'm really looking forward to. And then, of course, this year's theme is Mardi Gras, and they're having a masquerade party this evening. I don't have any masquerades. I should have brought a banana costume so I could have been masquerading as a banana. I didn't think of it. Anyway, yeah, I know. So we're going to have a fun day here in Tampa, Florida. But Greg, you're back in the office, and we have a couple of big stories this week. One, we're starting with the smarter era of food safety. What is that, and how did that dovetail with some of the coverage we had this week?
Right. Well, I worked on a story before I went to NGA in San Diego, and it was called the New Era of Smarter Food Safety. And it came from a kind of almost like a blog post that Frank Yanis, who is at FDA and has a background from Walmart, wrote on an FDA site talking about how all of food needs to come into a new era of food safety. And he was kind of getting at just the idea that the whole mindset is a little bit behind on technology. And it was really interesting, and I thought I should check in with a couple of food safety experts in the industry. So I called United and PMA and talked to them, and I talked to Trevor Suslow at PMA, and he kind of confirmed that the produce industry should do a little bit more as far as technology and getting up to speed with some of the things that are going on, both produce-wise and overall in society. And Jennifer McIntyre at United confirmed that too. She said it's really, it's more about FDA saying get with the times. And you consider we order all these things with our smartphones and read newspapers that way, and that's just not the way we're thinking enough in industry. And I think that's the way he's trying to push us. And it's more of a mindset, like the mindset of a culture of food safety. It's a culture and a mindset of modernization. And Jennifer also brought up the fact that as younger people come into the industry, they've grown up with this technology and it's second nature to them. And so for the produce industry in particular to have systems set up that aren't technologically intuitive, that can be a turnoff, and it can be less safe when that's just not the way people coming into the industry operate.
Yeah, one of the quotes that you had from Jennifer really kind of resonated with me because she said it's more than just checking boxes. It is integrating it, within all of your processes. So, you pick up your phone to check your social media. Why don't you pick up your phone and check what's going on with your pack houses and your tests and things like that. So that really resonated with me.
Yeah, and the industry is doing a lot of that, but it's got to become second nature and not, like you said, checking boxes and doing things for audits. It's just doing things because that's the way we do things. Speaking of the way we do things, one of our stories, unfortunately, was bad news out of Jimmy John's sandwiches. One of the things that they do is they have problems with sprouts, and they've been doing it for almost a decade. And they got a stern warning from FDA this week, and then the next day announced a new outbreak related to sprouts there. And you actually covered that since I was basking on the beach in San Diego. I wasn't on the beach, I was in a conference center in San Diego.
Yeah, the new Smarter Era of Food Safety story that you published came out one day, and then the next day we get a stern warning letter from Frank Yanis to Jimmy John's about, hey, 7 years of outbreaks, and really we've been covering Jimmy John's outbreaks for nearly a decade, like you said, and it just continues to happen. What is up with that? And that's kind of what the FDA's letter said. And then the next day, of course, we got that notification of another outbreak tied to sprouts. So it all kind of wrapped up in one not so nice package this week.
It did,
And so,
unfortunately.
but what did you come back from San Diego with? I mean, I noticed I saw no selfies with palm trees. So it sounds like you were at the convention center the whole time.
I was at the convention center. I did manage to walk around downtown and get some sun out of Kansas City, where it's actually warm and sunny in San Diego. I would say, I wrote a half dozen or so stories on various issues, but I would say the biggest message overall is that the retail marketplace is so much more competitive, and especially independent retailers are facing competition from places they never expected. I mean, they did kind of see Walmart coming, but they're not seeing dollar stores, they're not seeing Amazon, and they're having to adjust. And one of the biggest, and they are adjusting, they're making a lot of changes, but one of the biggest advantages they have is that all these small independent chains have a real local connection to their consumers, and that's a differentiator, and they need to play that up. And there are so many ways they can do that. A lot of it's carrying local items, and local produce is a huge part of that. And connections with local growers that big national chains can't do. So it's always, no matter who you are in retail, you have to be able to tell consumers how you're different and why you should come here. And that's one of the big ways they can do it. And I totally agree. And they should play that up.
All right. Well, I will be back with some more from Southeast Produce Council's Southern Exposure here in Tampa. So that's it for this week's Produce Reporter Week in Review. If you are not getting the Produce Reporter newsletter, where have you been? Go to producebluebook.com and sign up. See you later, Greg. I'm going to go find the goofy gators.
Enjoy the sun.
What sun? It's cold here too.